friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a video on Fantasmic. I did have a request to do a video on the Fantasmic dining package specifically. I'm going to talk about that, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about just Fantasmic in general. Now, I had mentioned in a previous video that Fantasmic is my least favorite of the 3 fireworks shows. So between Epcot and Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios, all 3 of them have fireworks shows. Hollywood Studios is my least favorite. That's not to say I dislike it, it's just least favorite. And the reason for that is you have to wait, I feel like, a really long time. Now, if you want a spot on Main Street for the Magic Kingdom fireworks, you're gonna have to wait a long time too. But I feel like there's you have more options, whereas in Hollywood Studios for the Fantasmic show, you have to stand on the sidewalk waiting for a very long time, because then they let you into, it's at actual stadium, so you're in stadium like bleacher seats, which can be nice because you're actually sitting on an actual spot, on an actual seat, not just like on the ground somewhere, but there's just a lot of waiting. So I'm going to talk about that as well in terms of how long you have to, how early you should get in line in advance. Now, that is one of the reasons why it is my least favorite. When I watch the fireworks at Magic Kingdom or at Epcot, I'm trying to think how to word this. I don't stake out a really good spot a long time in advance because I'm just not willing to do that. I'm willing to compromise and wait maybe only 20 minutes and be like, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to see some of this, that, or the other thing, but I'm gonna get to see most of it, and I'm only waiting, say, 20 minutes. Whereas that's not really possible for Fantasmic. So you wait, and then you enter the stadium, and then while people are entering the stadium, they have cast members that are down front to entertain you. And for most people, this is probably actual entertainment. A lot of it is audience participation. They don't force you to participate, but audience participation is probably one of my least favorite things on the planet. It gives me a lot of anxiety. So I don't like it for that reason. Now, there are a lot of different aspects, moving parts that go into Fantasmic. If you've seen it, you know what I mean. So they have water fountains that shoot up that are very cool, and there's lights and lasers, and there's projections, and there is the Mickey is there, and then there's the actual fireworks, and then there's a big boat with all the characters that go by. So when we were there, I think it was 2 times ago that I saw it, we waited, we sat through the cast member antics that they, put you through for entertainment, and probably 10 minutes into the show, after we had invested at least an hour and a half, I want to say it was during a busier time of the year, so we had waited like an hour and a half prior, and then they canceled it because the projection on our side was not working. I was very displeased. These things happen. I don't blame Disney. There's not a lot you can do about it, and sometimes things have to be canceled, but yeah, it kind of sucks. So that occurred, and I was not pleased. Now, lastly, the last thing I'm going to say, because I realize I'm kind of making this sound a bit negative, but I wanted to make it clear why it is my least favorite. My analogy that I had today when I was talking with my boss was the projections are cool in the same way that, okay, so if you think about TV in like the 1950s, it was really cool to them, right? But now if you compare TV now to TV in the 1950s, it's like, oh my gosh, there's no comparison. So that's kind of how I think of it. The projections that happen on Cinderella Castle at the Magic Kingdom now are so phenomenal, and the fireworks and music, everything is so amazing that Fantasmic just really isn't that spectacular anymore. It's still enjoyable. The boat at the end, I love that part. I think that's very cool. It is very entertaining. And I think if it were in any other park other than Disney World, it would still be like, oh my gosh, you have to see this. But compared to the others and given the time, that's why I say it is my least favorite. Now, getting into a little bit more of the less subjective details. Some nights There are 2 Fantasmic shows. Some nights there are not. There's only one. And then during slower times of the year, they may take nights off as well. But the second show is pretty much always less busy, so you won't have to wait in line as long. Now, this is how long you should wait in line in terms of when you should get in line is dependent on the time of the year, I think. In general, if you are going to the first or only show, if it's a night where there's only one show, you need to be in line at least an hour in advance. Yeah, I would say at least an hour in advance. Like I said, when we went in August one year, we were waiting like an hour and a half. You'll see people lining up along the sidewalk down the main drag of Hollywood Studios, and it's right alongside the theater where Beauty and the Beast is. Now, if you're walking from the entrance, it's going to be on your right-hand side. Now, if it's a day where there's 2 shows and you're going to the second show, then you're probably going to want to be in line between 45 to 60 minutes, so somewhere in between there, but it's still quite a while. So, first or only show, at least an hour. Second show, between 45 minutes and an hour ahead of time. That is if you are not doing the dining package. So let's talk about the Fantasmic dining package. Now what that is you have a meal and then reserved seating for the show. Now it's not a specific seat, but you have admission to a specific section. So you have all of the stadium seats with, it kind of reminds me of like a show at SeaWorld where you have these stadium seats and then you have like the water in front of you and the show is taking place in the water. Now the Fantasmic seats are the middle section. The Fantasmic dining package seats are the middle section, but there are not specific seats. It's just, okay, you guys go sit in this section. So like I said, you have the meal and then the show. Now the meal, there are 3 restaurants you can visit as part of the Fantasmic dining package, and it can be breakfast, lunch, or dinner depending on where you're going. So for breakfast, it would be at Hollywood and Vine restaurant, and then for lunch or dinner, you could eat at the Hollywood Brown Derby, Hollywood and Vine, or Mama Melrose's restaurant. So there are prefixed menus. Prefixed prices. I'm sorry. You have a prefixed price, and currently through the rest of 2017, it includes an appetizer. But for starting on January 1st, 2018, there are not appetizers included. But you will have an entree and a non-alcoholic beverage and a dessert or a full buffet, depending on what is served at that restaurant and the meal that you are eating. You can use your dining credits if you want. The same rules apply. Brown Derby is 2, so that part doesn't change. Then you get a voucher for the Fantasmic show. Now, if you are going to the show as part of the dining package, they recommend you arrive I shouldn't say that. They don't recommend. You must arrive between 30 and 45 minutes in advance. So you have to make sure you're there. So you're in line at least 30 minutes prior to the start of the show. Now, if you are doing the dining package, like I said, you get a voucher. It is only good for the first show if it's a night where there's 2 shows. If something were to happen, like if there's inclement weather and the show cannot go on, your dining reservation will still go on, but you will be given, I'm not exactly, okay, so what they say is you're given, you're able to use that voucher, I guess, within 5 days. I'm not sure if they tell you a specific day or if they'll just say anytime within the next 5 days. That might depend on the situation or the show or the season, that kind of thing. But if it is canceled due to weather, and I imagine the same would probably hold true for technical difficulties, but like I explained, I'm not 100% sure on that though. But if there is like a torrential monsoon, the meal will still go on as planned. If the show is canceled, you'll be able to go to a different show. Now, like I said, you can do the Fantasmic show without doing the dining package. You can do the dining package, which includes the meal and the show, Or if you just want to eat at one of those restaurants and not do the show, you can do that too. But if you want the Fantasmic dining package, you need to book it as such. You can't just eat at a restaurant and then at the last minute say, oh, hey, we want to see Fantasmic. Can you give us a voucher for that? So you have to book it as such. You need to have a credit card down, credit card guarantee to book, like pretty much all Disney restaurants require. If you do not show up or if you don't cancel at least 48 hours in advance, then you will be charged $10 per person as a cancellation fee. So I hope that helps. One last thing I was going to mention. In terms of the viewing for the show, like I said, it is in the center of the theater, which I think is going to be pretty darn good seats. Now, because of the stadium seating, it's kind of in, it goes out and then up as well. So I don't think there are too many really bad seats. Now, the very edges, you're not going to see a whole lot. So I would say that as long as you aren't on the very edges, probably aren't good seats. So if you do the Fantasmic dining package, you won't have that. I think there are 3 sets of projections, one in the middle and then one on either side. When we were on the far left side, facing the water, when it was canceled, and that time, I have like a hair or something and it's tickling me. Sorry. So the time when it was canceled and we were on the far left side, we could not really see the projections on the far right. We could see the projections in the middle and the half working one in front of us on the left, but we couldn't see the one on the right. So is the seating better for Fantasmic? I would say so. I don't know if it makes a big enough difference where it's worth it if you don't want to eat at one of those restaurants though. So that's my opinion. And in terms of the Mickey, that I said Mickey Mouse is there and he comes up, that's right in the middle. You will be able to see that from most every seat, if not every single seat. I'm sure there isn't a seat in the stadium where you can see nothing, where it's a complete waste. But like I said, the very edges, you're not going to have a great view. The boat with all of the characters comes by. It goes from the right all the way to the left, so you're going to be able to see that wherever you are as well. But I think you'll just be able to see more of the projections in the show and everything if you are in the middle. But it's not, like I said, if you don't want to eat at one of those 3 restaurants, I don't think it is necessarily worth it for you to book the dining package just for that reason alone. I will put in a screenshot here of the prices. I will show you the prices for 2017 and then the new prices for 2018, because like I said, they took out the appetizers and they did slightly reduce the cost of the pre-fixed price meals because of that. Yes, that is all the information I have for you on the Fantasmic dining package. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.